Wow. Hi, guys, and welcome back to episode, I don't know. I forgot what episode this is. Michael, I'm so sorry. I think it's like 5. I think it's 5. Episode 5 of Press X To Revoluiton, where normal people are talking about like video games as opposed to the other people who talk about video games that are not like normal people who just play video games like we are. Today, Michael is out still. He has just had a baby a couple weeks ago, and he's got family in town. I don't know where Marcus is. Lost in the woods, maybe. So instead, I'm Alan, as you know, from the Library of Allenxandria. And then we have Andrew, who you also know, who has been here for the other.
Only from Press X. I'm not famous enough to have a booktube channel.
Yeah, he's off the grid. He's a survivalist. He has a vault full of canned goods. And then filling in today is going to be my buddy Macon, who so Michael usually has his friend on. Now I have my friend on. Yeah. This is Macon. We are arch nemesis. He plays a lot of Switch and Monster Hunter.
Wait, I don't play Twitch.
Yeah, no one plays Twitch.
What a boomer thing to say.
A Nintendo Switch.
Switch. Lisa.
I can't stand just looking at our faces, guys. I feel like I'm being trapped and suffocated by those boxes.
In a little box.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, then I can turn the orientation. How's this?
That's fine. I don't care.
Is this better? Does this matter? Okay.
So it has been a hot minute since we did one of these. Yeah. And we went on break mostly because I had family in town, and I went on an anniversary trip with my wife, and then Michael was getting prepped for Amanda having the baby and everything. So we're back, and we're glad to be back talking about video games. So Andrew, what have you been playing recently? We'll start with that. Like, what have you been playing in this big break we've had?
So this last couple of months has been really weird for me. I sold my home, moved back. I should say I sold my house, then moved home. And so I just got back into my apartment, so I have internet again, so I can actually play like some video games again. Living at my parents for the last 2 months, the only console I've really been playing is my Switch. I've been getting into Octopath Traveler still. Nice. That is a fun RPG that I've been kind of diving into. It's not what I was expecting at all. Very character focused but in a slightly different format. The game, basically, you have 8 people to choose from, and then you start by playing just one of those characters, and you play through their little story, and then you set off on your adventure, and you meet the other 7 travelers on your journey. But it can be done in any order. It's kind of interesting. My biggest issue with it is probably the problem I have with open world games, where it's like, here is this world impending doom, but I've got to go collect 8 apples for the old lady down the street.
Look, the end of the world waits for anyone.
Like, gotta get them apples.
That's right. I've heard that the Octopath Traveler was a video game priced soundtrack, like a full. Like, I've heard it's like the soundtrack is excellent.
It's very I'm drawing a blank on his name, but the same composer who it's not made by the same guy, but when I think of it, I think of like Final Fantasy music. Like, it's very much that
Uematsu.
Like, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Like the old 8-bit or 16-bit stuff, like from back in the SNES, like that. It's just very.
That's Square, isn't it? Isn't it Squeenix?
Yeah, it is. It is a Squeenix game. So so I've been playing that a lot. But the game I've been playing even more than that. Being back at home, living with my brothers again, we dove heavily into Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Hey,
Macon can. I'm gonna let Macon
speak my language.
Andrew, remember when we were talking about when I was saying that like Smash Brothers stops being fun when people mention the terms iframes? This is the friend I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Three of us with all of our lives played versus him. And we can't beat him. 3 of us can't beat him. It's ridiculous.
I've been terrible at fighting games my whole life. Like, I've just never really gotten into them in a way. The closest I probably got was Mortal Kombat 9 on like 360 and stuff like that. Michael had it. I'd go over and play it at his place. But
I'm
I
bad
wanted
at
to
real
get.
fighting games. Smash is like real games, like Soul Calibur and those. No, terrible.
Oh, but I wanted to play Ultimate and wanted to get good at Smash. So my brothers and I'd be out like somewhere hanging with friends, and I'd come home and my brothers would be mad at me. It's like, I thought we were gonna play Smash tonight. So we would do like 4-player couch Smash, which I think is totally the way that game should be played.
100%.
It is such a fun way to play that game, and after learning some basics and getting good with a couple characters, we just had so much fun just setting randoms. Like eventually we would just like, let's choose theme characters, or everyone play a Pokemon. Or
so who do you main?
Samus.
Samus?
Nice.
Wow.
Samus is my mate. Samus is definitely the one that I've had the most success with. As far as her recovery, I love to. It irritates my brother to no end, but I love to sit on the side and just launch missiles into people. It's a lot of fun. And so we've been playing a ton of that, just getting good with different characters. Once I get my apartment kind of set up again, get a couch, everything that comes with purchasing a new place to live. I want to get some people back over here, and we're going to dive back into that Smash.
Yes.
Go ahead. Sorry. There's been so much Smash Malay vids coming through my TikTok feed lately, and so I was watching one today. It was just like a fox and a falco just like going at it, and just like the things that people can do in this game are insane. I'm nowhere near that level. I just want to have fun with my friends and be somewhat competent, so I'm not losing all the time. And I feel like I've achieved that in this game, and it's that's been really fun.
I love Smash, but only with people who aren't named Macon. It's ridiculous. First of all, when you play people with iframes, the first thing they want to do is turn items off. Like they hate items.
I don't mind items.
I know, okay? You're better than most people. Like we had at school for like JCL, which is essentially a Latin club. We had a tournament where we gave away, like, the winner of the Smash tournament won a stuffed Luigi that we put a toga on. And we did a Smash tournament, and they're all like, no, items off. You turn items. I'm like, y'all shut up. Like, I'm the teacher and the chaperone. We're turning items on. Quit crying. They're like, well, can we at least turn them on medium? I'm like, fine. Because I used to say items high.
Yes. I am so terrible at picking them up. Like the coordination on the Joy-Con, especially when you've just got like a single like Joy-Con. I'm very terrible at like.
Oh, they're hard to deal with.
It's really hard. And then one of my controllers has already developed the Joy-Con drift. And so that makes it even harder. Items can deliver an unfair advantage depending on what you're doing. But like it's for fun. Like
but it's chaos for everyone.
Yes.
They don't even want to play on a fun stage. They want to do what's that freaking flat one that is
Final Destination.
They want to do Final Destination, no items, and I'm just like,
that's a fighting game.
What's really fun is getting ice climbers because they can pick up 2 items at once. That's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun.
I didn't know
2 Pokeballs at one time. It's fantastic. So next time you'll play max items or Pokeballs only, get ice climbers. Fantastic.
Okay. Tell Andrew who you main that we always have to deal with.
Okay. Something to note, Yoshi's Story for the N64 is probably my favorite game of all time. Okay. So I've been playing Yoshi since the N64, just Yoshi in general. He's like my persona. So it's never changed.
We can't beat him.
So this is years in the making, Yoshi. So
yeah, awesome. Alan, what's your favorite item in the game?
I spent a long time. I played Ultimate, I guess, on the Switch in that tournament.
The items haven't changed super. There's a couple new stuff in Ultimate, but even the old stuff.
Really my favorite are the Pokeballs because you never know like which one's going to pop out.
Sure.
Those are my favorite. There's something satisfying about getting a good one and then just like
Goldine.
Inspiring. It's like freaking Goldine, exactly.
Snorlax.
What about you, Megan? What's your favorite item in the game?
Oh, favorite item?
Yeah.
Probably Pokeballs. Yeah, that's a good one. Let me think about that. Those are really fun. I like the bomb chews a lot. They're like these little bombs that you throw on the ground, and they like go really fast as well. They're from the Zelda series, but those are cool too.
What is your strategy when beating us at Yoshi?
Well, against the Samus online, when they spam missiles from side to side, I usually just lob eggs the whole time and jump in the air a lot.
What he does to me is he eats me and poops me in an egg off the cliff.
Yeah, it's harder to break out when you have more damage. So if you don't know to button mash like as fast as possible, most people just go right off. So.
I play Bowser Jr. I don't really know why. Like I really like launching out of my cart and having it blow up. It's my favorite.
He's so irritating.
But I also like Lucina. And like the only time I've ever made like irritated Macon and like actually killed him is when I'm Ike and can use the smash that like
sword characters, man. Yeah. Sword characters. Yeah. They'll ruin me.
My brother, my youngest brother Sean, he's 13. He just he was playing Ike the whole time, Marth. I'm sorry, he was playing Marth the whole time, and I was like, we had to ban him. I was like, Sean, you can't do this. It's like
they just buffed Marth too,
because I was trying to like learn the game, and I'm just getting owned by this sword player, and it's like, okay, like if you're gonna do this, that's fine, but then me and my brother D, we're gonna gang up on you. And he's like, fine, and then we'd lose, and he'd stop playing. I'd say, just to say a different item, in Ultimate there, I don't know what they're called. They're like these, I think they're like the spirits or like these companions that you can
the assist trophies.
Assist trophies. Yes. Yes. I think those are probably my favorite, which they're essentially just a more powerful Pokeball.
They're awesome. Yeah. Summoning a Rathalos for Monster Hunter in Super Smash Bros. Is like the most satisfying thing in the world. Seeing a Rathalos on a monster on Final Station, Alan's favorite map, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. So lame. Like I like look, the more randomness and chaos that's induced into the game, the better it is, because then I have a chance. If you're playing Final, like, there's not even a point. Like it's just like, why am I playing? I'm not good. Like we eventually make Macon random his character while we get to choose, and we still lose. Like he beat us with Game and Watch, and that's just embarrassing.
To be fair, Game and Watch is really good frame data, so he's really good.
I hate you. Like
one of the best players in the world actually mains him. He's really good. He contests MK Leo quite often. MK Leo's #1 in the world right now.
You gotta stop with your freaking frame data, whatever. I don't even know.
Macon, can you pull off a Pichu?
I love Pichu. Is my second.
Oh, really?
Are you serious?
I'm not good. Yeah, I love Pichu. He's fantastic. And then they heavily nerfed him.
In Brawl. Who was your second in Brawl? The last one. Was that Brawl?
Mewtwo probably.
Okay, gotcha.
And or Sheik. Sheik's usually my second.
Because that's the one we played a lot. We haven't played Ultimate because I don't have a Switch, and we also never have time to hang out anymore. So
fair. Yeah. Yoshi, Sheik, and Pichu.
Okay.
Very cool.
Two of them are the hardest characters to play and are not. They keep getting nerfed.
I watched a TikTok for someone owning with a Jigglypuff, and I was like, I kind of want to be able to say that I can play a Jigglypuff.
Oh my gosh. Jigglypuff, you can't. She's good. She's really good.
I watched some of these videos. It's like, oh, dang. And so I tried. I'm not very good with it. We'll see.
None of y'all play. No one plays like Joker or Hero.
Hero's fun. He's fun, but
I don't have any of the DLC characters, so I haven't played Joker.
You gotta get Sephiroth.
Yeah, Joker. I want to play Joker. I want to play.
Pyramithra is cool too.
I'm trying to blank on what's the game that Joker's from?
Persona 5.
5. I want to play 5. I really want to play.
It is a fantastic game.
At some point. Macon was like through. You still haven't finished it?
No.
The music from that game has like. It's really good.
The music is fantastic.
Yeah,
the game is too long for the amount of music tracks.
That's just a Persona game.
Yes, but it needs more music tracks if it's going to be that long. My wife was going to kill me if I did not finish Persona 5 quickly because she was so sick of the same freaking music. That wasn't what bothered. It's more the.
Oh yeah. Do you like Persona 5 or 4 more? Which one's your favorite?
I think that 5 is a more kind of polished. I think 5 is more streamlined. I think 5 is a more polished game, but I think 4 is the better game. 4 is not quite as long. I think 5 is one dungeon too long. 5 is really long, like really long. And I think the story's better in 4. I think 5 might play better, but the story is better. Just the storyline in 4 is excellent. Like if you're on Steam, Persona 4 Golden is a fantastic game because it's just really good. It's like a murder mystery, and it's a small town. I like the small town Japanese setting more than like Tokyo. And so it is excellent. So Macon, what have you been playing in the last couple months? You were playing Monster Hunter Rise for a while. Have you
What's
moved
that?
on to it?
Arise?
Monster Hunter Rise, right? In those
Oh,
games?
Rise. Yeah, I played a lot of that. I took a break because I've been replaying Bug Fables. But yeah, Bug Fables. It's fantastic.
What?
Fables.
I don't
So
know.
there's a game. I think it's a Swedish company. They came out with this indie game, and it's basically people are calling it the Paper Mario game that never got released. If you love Paper Mario, you will love this game. And I have Paper Mario tattooed on my back, so I'm a huge fan of Paper Mario. But I seriously couldn't recommend like an action. It's like a turn-based RPG, but there's like action commands within the attacks, so you can do more damage if you time them correctly.
Yeah, so it's like Mario RPG.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, no, you play, and it's funny because I was reading Gray Coats while I was playing this the first time around, Alan. And so you have a trio of 3 bugs. You've got a beetle. I think it's a stag beetle. You've got a moth, and you have a bee. And the moth acts just like Kest. He acts just like Kest.
That's awesome.
Like calm, cool, collective, calculated, like almost a drone. And then the main character is very like he has a not a righteous bone. What's the word? He's very much so like he upholds justice, a justice bone.
Justice bone. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it was really cool reading the book series while going with this, and yeah, it's much lighter the series. But if you're looking for fun, the music fantastic, a fun RPG there. That's what I've been playing, and then yeah, a lot of Monster Hunter, and then Smash Brothers, and also Overwatch, and also Terraria.
You're back on Overwatch, Macon. We've talked about you playing competitive games.
No, I only play Mystery Heroes. So it's all random. It's like the fun version of Smash, where you just play for fun. But a friend of mine picked it back up and started playing again, so we've been playing a little bit.
I need someone to play Overwatch with, so I might be hitting you up on that. Now that I got entered again, this year I got back into Overwatch in a major way, and it was like, why
really?
did I stop playing this game? This game is good.
It's very fun.
Yeah,
Macon had to throttle his Overwatch playing because he was getting way too competitive, like in the actual like competitive rankings and stuff. Like
it was a problem. So and then I wasn't even
because he's a weeb. This is important for people to know. Michael calls him the eternal weeb. He mains Hanzo. That's who he mains. Hanzo and Genji. Like
they're the coolest characters.
They are the
coolest characters.
But they are.
They're so fun. They're the best characters. They were terrible for a very long time. Yeah, they were terrible. They had to.
I'm not good with either of them.
I've never played Overwatch, but if I did, I would play Winston because he's a gorilla.
You could off tank off of my Reinhardt, Alan.
There you go.
Just be a gorilla. How are you liking? How is Monster Hunter Rise, Megan? Compared to
World?
Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know. It's hard to compare them. I think World did so much for Rise. So like before World, okay, I could talk about Monster Hunter for 6 hours.
Okay. Well,
ultimately, in a nutshell, Rise I think is better because there's more mobility incorporated in the combat, and I love high mobility in games. It keeps me engaged.
Grappling hook? You get it like a grappling hook thing?
Yeah, it's the wire bugs where you can like wire onto a bug and like zip line around with like every weapon you play. So you can there's more mobility for every weapon. So it's fun to play every weapon. I'm actually challenging myself to beat every monster use every weapon 50 times against all the monsters.
I was gonna say choose your next words carefully because if you want to beat every monster 50 times,
no, using every weapon at least. But no, 100 times, and I've bested 4 of them. It's a lot of fun though. And so yeah, definitely the most. I think World's definitely much more expanded and fleshed out, but Rise has immediately like probably the best Monster Hunter game I've played, and I love 4U. I easily put in like 2,500 hours into 4U.
So let me ask you this: a friend of mine has been wanting me to get into Monster Hunter with him.
So fun.
I played a little bit of 3, but wasn't really a big fan of it. But I think I could get into a much more fleshed out version of the game, especially if I could play on the Master Console PC.
That would be World.
Yeah, and so so that was going to be my question: is Rise on PC or
I think just World?
Is it?
It's not. It'll be on PC. It'll be on PC later this year, I think.
So
World and then not Iceborne. Yeah, Iceborne is the expansion.
Yeah, Iceborne. It's the expansion. Yeah.
Yeah. It's still a fantastic game. It still has a huge player base. So if you want to play it on PC and you want to go ranged, then yeah, you're going to enjoy it much more because playing ranged with a controller is not very fun.
would it be easier to
Extremely
to jump into World than Rise, or like?
That's a good question. I would say Rise is easier than World, but I mean they're both going to have their walls. Like you're going to probably need at least 10 to 20 hours with a weapon to like figure it out. But they're both like they're both the easiest. Like try the third one you played. I don't even know why I like Monster Hunter playing that, because I played the hammer, and the hammer is the clunkiest weapon in that game, especially in the underwater combat, especially against Ludroth. Oh, it was terrible. But World and Rise easily so much easier to get into. So I would pick Rise personally because it's more like high mobility. But if you don't mind slowing down, then World, and it looks so beautiful at 60 frames a second.
Andrew, I will say, so the first Monster Hunter I played was World, and that was at Macon's request, so we could play together. If I did not have Macon, Monster Hunter is the most user unfriendly, noob unfriendly game. Like it doesn't tell you how to do anything. Like there are so many things, and they don't. The tutorial is trash.
Terrible.
So I had Macon to help me through, but if I didn't have Macon, I would have no idea what I was doing. I learned the hammer in World, and I loved it. And freaking, there's a move in the hammer, like the third like strong hit called the Big Bang. And Macon would get so mad because he's like, "Are you at this next boss yet?" Because he'd want me to die. And I never carded, or I never like died 3 times to a boss where I had to like restart. So he'd always be like, "Oh, I bet this one's gonna kill you," and I'd be like, "So and so, I just fought so and so, and it's down to the Big Bang."
That's the best attack like in the game. I don't know. To me, like Monster Hunter is one of my favorite. It became one of my favorite series. Like, but once you get it, like it's like riding a bike. Yeah, and then the easiest one to get into is Rise.
Once I got good at it, like I understood how to play. I really, really enjoyed it. But I would make sure that like, you know, you watch a tutorial, or if you're going to play with someone who's played, like something like that, because I can't imagine starting cold.
Yeah, there's no way that I would start anything like this on my own. But with a group of people, like which is a large part of why I play video games, is just that social aspect of, you know, the 4 of you are in like a Destiny raid or whatever it is. Like those social interactions are so awesome, and I know a lot of people really dove into World.
Yeah.
So.
And that's something else too, is like the Monster Hunter World or the Monster Hunter community is like one of the best ones you could probably be a part of. Like there are some elitists, but for the most part, since it's like a PvE game, like everyone's usually pretty helpful. And there's like really good guides between like Eric's, he's a really good guide series, and then Gaijin Hunter is probably my favorite. He's like a really soft-spoken guy.
Yeah, I love Gaijin Hunter.
Yeah, he's cool. Really good. The only thing I would say is PC is hard. You have to like bind all of your keys because Capcom hates PC. So that's just another entry hazard on top of it. If you get it for PC, is you're going to have to
hates gamers. Capcom hates people to play video games.
Not as much as Kojima.
Konami. No one hates video gamers as much as Konami does. Konami despises them because they only make pachinko machines. They hate like making games.
And they like ran one of the coolest video game series of ever into the ground.
They always do that crap. So I have been playing Dark Souls 3. And I just platinumed it like 2 days ago.
Wow. That's impressive.
It was fun. Like it's hard. But the thing is, what I like about Dark Souls is the Soulsborne games. I like Bloodborne better. But the Soulsborne games are hard.
Yeah.
But there's always a way, except for I don't think Sekiro does this, which is why I'm not going to play Sekiro, because I think Sekiro is too hard. In the Souls games, you can always grind and level up. And so you can get your health and your endurance and your strength like really high. And it's still hard because even wearing the best armor, they still hit like a truck. But it buys you an extra hit, maybe 2, before you bite it. So it's still challenging, but it's not like get good challenging. So, you know, there's the worst part about Dark Souls is just getting invaded by random people who freaking just like want to invade you and kill you. And the thing is, I don't even try. So if I get invaded, what I do is I run right to the nearest bonfire and I stand there. And if they kill me, I died right next to the bonfire, pick up my souls, go on my way.
Do they like get your souls or something whenever you die? Or like, do they get anything from you if they kill you?
No, I mean, they get something, but they don't get something from me. My souls stay there, and I pick them up immediately, and I go on my way. One time, a guy, like, he just saw me standing there and he thought I was AFK or something. So he's like waving at me, jumping around. Like, he didn't attack me. And I just blitzkrieged him and I killed him. It's the only one I've ever killed. Because those PvP people, if they're invading me, they're better than me. Like, I don't want to fight them in the middle of where I am.
I know exactly what you mean.
So I can die and just keep playing. But it was a lot of fun. I played the DLC.
What weapon do you like to use? Do you have a preference?
Just like in Monster Hunter, I like the big, slow, heavy weapons.
Nice.
So I used in that one, I used a huge, like, a great hammer, but it's a mace. It's like a frostbite mace. And I played around with some other heavy weapons, but I ended up liking the mace the best. So
it's funny. I never played those games, but I've watched probably over 100 hours of people playing them, like speedrunners, and like there's like a lore series that goes like into the.
Monty Vidya's lore videos are amazing.
Fantastic.
Like, amazing. That guy's like, it's brilliant. They're really, really good. But yeah, I mean, I just enjoy it. Like, I am not good enough to use the weapons that don't deal a lot of damage. I have to deal as much damage as possible in a short amount of time, because that's as far as I can survive.
Well,
I can dodge some.
If it works, it works.
The longer the fight goes, the more chance I have of winning.
But
so I gotta have big, heavy weapons.
One plus to those big, heavy weapons is they feel so good, because when you get a good knockback off of one of those things, it's just like, yeah.
Or even, especially when you interrupt an attack, it's crunchy.
Since you've played 3, does this mean that you've beaten 1 and 2 as well?
I have not, but while I was playing 3, 2 was on sale, like the whole game, and the DLC was on sale for $9, so I bought it. So I'll play that eventually.
Have you played 1 at all?
No, I'm going to. I will eventually, but
1 is so good.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear 1 is
really good.
Yeah, I've heard 1 is.
Have you not played Dark Souls Macon?
No, but it's funny. Like, again, I watch a lot of content on it. I just haven't. It's one of those games that I just know I would enjoy watching more.
Dark Souls 1 is responsible for probably one of my top 3 best video game moments of all time. Where there was this boss that I was stuck on. It's an infamous boss, Smo and Ornstein. It's this 2. So up to that point in the game, you're fighting these, whether large bosses or smaller bosses, there's always one. Yeah. But in this one, you enter in like this temple, and there's like 2 of them. Yeah. One of them is really slow, and he'll get a good knockback.
And the other one's like just chasing.
Yeah, and one of them is just lightning. He's just zipping all around. And that got me out of the game for a good 9 months, probably to a year. And I got back into the game. I'm gonna beat this. And I pounded my head on it for a few weeks, or was it was at least a week. But either way, the important fact is I was like getting there. I was getting closer, and then I finally nailed the fight, and I beat him. And I just started like shaking. I'm so excited. And I picked up my cell phone and I called Michael, and I'm just screaming through the phone. It's like, I finally did it. And his wife could hear me through the phone, just screaming. It was it was incredible. It was just like, it's the amount of accomplishment that you feel in that game, because not only is it incredibly challenging, but it rewards you, because you've learned how the fights work. Then you execute those fights perfectly and you win. It's such an amazing feeling. It's just incredible. It was Dark Souls 1 is really good.
Yeah, games like that and Monster Hunter, like that delayed gratification from like actually learning the game. It's like and learning that, like, that's the thing, is like half the once you learn the weapon, you have to learn the monster.
Yeah.
And that's what I really like, is like the first 40 hours of Monster Hunter with your weapon, like for 40 hours with that weapon, you're probably learning the weapon. And then by that point, you have to figure out like what's the difference between a Rathalos and a Silverlos, or like, because there's like slight variances and their attack pattern changes and go up in the ranks. It's really cool.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I think almost all of my favorite gaming moments are those ones where that you worked at it and you like, I didn't play a lot of WoW. But Destiny was where I really got introduced to like the raid system. And when in Destiny 2, and I got a group of people together and we went through and beat, I can't remember the name of the raid, but it was like the first big raid at the end of that game. And we played that for like 6 hours in a night, and we were about gave up on the last boss, and we finally executed it. Like, it was so funny. People were falling asleep in our party and like weren't even paying attention, and we're just like, come on, we're so close. But we executed it, and it was just moments like that are just, it's awesome. They're really great.
Nice. One of my best gaming moments was Well, we've had plenty. Megan and I have had several playing the Tales games. Like,
some good moments there.
Some really challenging ones. But this one's from a Tales game also. When I lived in Pensacola, my buddy Finn and my girlfriend at the time, we had been playing Tales of Destiny 2. It's for PS1 game, but we were playing it on PS2 with a multi-tap. And we were at the last boss. And the last boss, like, oh my gosh, like, because we're playing on hard. We was playing hard, and Tales of Destiny is too easy if you've got people and you're not. So we have one computer. We got one AI companion, and then the three of us are playing. And this boss is just ripping us apart. The mystic art. We got a special ability. My character got a special ability right before the end that you're supposed to use it like while she's casting her mystic art to kind of reflect it. And I could not get the timing down to use it. And so, like, we've literally been fighting this fight for 30 minutes. That is how long we've been fighting this boss, just like whittling her down. She got so much freaking health, because that's what Tales does. They just increase the damage that it does and increase the health. That's how they make it harder. Like, so it's ridiculous. So we're out of gels, no healing left. Everyone's dead. AI's dead. My buddy Finn is dead. Girlfriend at the time is dead, and they're literally just sitting there like watching. Finn's like picked up his phone and like reading a magazine or whatever, like, you can do it. And we're like, no, we're gonna wipe after 30 minutes. She uses her mystic art. I get the timing. I'm like, guys, I got it. What we didn't realize is that the reflecting was going to revive the entire party. I have never seen people die for a controller that quickly. They leapt off the couch for the controllers they'd set down. Holy crap! Holy crap! And we managed to beat her. And we were like, holy crap! It was epic. To this day, we all still remember that. It's just a good time.
That's amazing.
It never said you were going to revive your party if you blocked it.
I would love to be sitting in a fly on the wall in that room watching everyone's reactions when they realize that they're alive again.
Screaming.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, just so.
Oh, speaking of, talk about when we played the part 2, the horror game with Matt. What was it? It was exclusive trailer demo.
So PT. So PT that like it was supposed to be like a Silent Hill kind of prelude made by Kojima, right? So we played PT, and we're walking around, and we can't figure out, like, it's me and my buddy Matt, or our buddy Matt and Macon. We're at my house, and we're just playing it. We're walking around. We don't know what to do. Like, we're just trying to do it without a guy.
No one knew what to do.
Yeah, we don't know what to do, and so we're freaking walking around, but we're creepy. Go in the bathroom, and there's like creepy stuff in there, and so we're all like, guys. Like, I don't think we're brave enough to play this game. And Matt's like, it's fine, just give it to me. So Matt grabs it and starts screwing around. He's like, look, this is easy. I'm just going to walk backwards. And he starts walking backwards. And the witch just pops up and goes, ah! We shrieked like little girls. We screamed so loud. Because he was just like, oh, look how not scary this is. I'm just going to walk backwards. And popped out at us. Out of nowhere. We must have peed our pants. Like, we must have. It was so.
I can't play horror games. Like, I can barely watch someone play a horror game. I can't touch them with a 10-foot pole.
Matt threw the controller, didn't he?
He did. He chunked that thing. He's like, oh! It was gone. Like, I'm surprised it didn't go into the ceiling.
Pete, man, what did Konami kill that too? What was the story with that? Because they were the ones that were making PT, weren't they?
It's dead.
Yeah, who was the actor that was the actor from The Walking Dead?
Norman Reedus, I think.
Norman Reedus was what's the name of that other Kojima game?
The one that but I think there was an actor. I think that was the same actor
in the Silent Hill game, and then they moved him to Death Stranding after the Silent Hill game.
I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to be in it, and then Kojima was like, I think Kojima really wanted a game with Norman Reedus in it.
Yeah, it was either him or some actor, but I'm pretty sure it was him.
Okay.
So guys, what upcoming games? What games are you guys looking forward to coming out?
Oh man. Well, I just got back into a place where I can actually kind of play video games again, so I just kind of want to get settled. I want to get, one of the things I play a lot of is just online shooters with some of my good friends, and so. When I left, when I moved and lost online internet, Warzone was the big thing that we played a lot. And so I kind of want to try that again, but I hear that's just riddled with cheaters now, and it's not very good at all.
And they don't have very good anti-hacks.
They don't.
At all.
They don't have any. And it sucks. So I'm disappointed about that. I might try to get
Apex.
So we do. I have Apex, and I've played it a lot, and I've liked it. Overwatch is something I really want to get back into, and to kind of transition. Overwatch 2 is one of the games I'm really looking forward to.
Me too.
That'll come out next year, I think, is a target right now. But I'm really looking forward to that. The only game that I can think of off the top of my head this year is Battlefield 2048. It
does look good. I saw the alpha footage for it. It looks really good.
Yeah, that one looks really good. I really want to play that. I really liked Battlefield 1, and I played a little bit of 4. But 2048 seems like, especially as someone who I just like modern shooters, like just it's simple, it's boring, but it's just what I like. And so if they can get a good online community going in Battlefield, where it's a lot more balanced than in Warzone, then I think I could easily see myself sinking lots of hours into that.
Yeah,
nice.
Megan, what about you? What are you looking forward to?
I was disappointed with Nintendo's delivery or lineup this year, so there really isn't anything immediately. I know I'm really excited for the next Metroid Prime game to come out. Like, really excited for the next Prime, because I think the Prime series is like the best Metroid series.
Why have they taken so long to
I don't know. I don't know. But there's a side-scroller one that's coming out too that I can't remember the name of it, what they titled it, but it looks really good too. So that's really it. That's why I'm kind of just in a hiatus of playing anything new at the moment.
Metroid Dread is that one.
That's right. That's the name of that. Yeah, that looks like kind of just a call to form. I had the Prime 1 and Prime 2 when I was a kid, but I never beat them. Those games kind of gave me this weird melancholy of just I am so alone in this world.
Oh, I know. The soundtrack did not help, especially in the ice world and in Metroid 1. Yeah, it was depressing.
I had a real hard time playing. The one Metroid game I did beat was Fusion on the game.
Fusion is my favorite one. It's probably of the side scrollers, probably my favorite one.
So when I play Samus in Ultimate, I switch to the Fusion skin.
It's the best skin. It's so good. It's so good.
And then, I'm really wondering if it's going to come out, honestly, the new Metroid.
I don't know. The Prime series are fantastic. It's again, that's the only thing that really got me into Metroid. And it was actually, this was the first game that scared me, because going against the Space Pirates was terrifying. And the soundtrack for them was also terrifying. I almost couldn't do it. I had to have my older brother help me. Could you please do me? I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for those two. What about you, Alan?
Okay, so mine is actually the demo for it came out today. Tales of Arise, the new Tales game, September 10, I think. And so the demo dropped for it today, and I played a little bit. I played about 30 minutes of it earlier today. It's gorgeous. It's the first Tales game made with the Unreal Engine instead of whatever engine they've been using, and it looks gorgeous. It is it's the most beautiful Tales game by far.
PS5,
yeah, both PS4 and PS5. But I just looked it up because, first of all, I was Tales games. So the problem with Tales games is Tales games are always more fun with your friends. Always. They always have been.
Are they co-op?
Yes. Yeah. Since Tales of Destiny 1 for the PlayStation 1, they are 4-player couch multiplayer where each person controls a character in battle.
I don't know enough weebs for that.
Look, that is why I have played almost every single, not all, but I've played almost every single Tales game co-op, and it is, or at least in more recent years, at least partially co-op. I know Macon and I, Macon he's played crappy Zestiria with me, part of it. He's played a large portion of Berseria with me. We played all of Grace's F, which was amazing. Rolling Thunderbolt.
Rolling Thunder. Yeah, that was good.
But Tales of Arise, there's only been one game. There's only been one single-player Tales game. And it was Tales of Legendia, and I hated Tales of Legendia. I hated it. And the real problem with Tales games is that the stories aren't. They're really generic anime-ish, and they're good, but they're better when you have your friends to react to. They're not really good enough for a single player RPG. Like they're just not enough to like stun a single person. But I literally just looked it up because I was about to say, Macon, why do you work so much? Tales of Arise is not multiplayer. It was designed to be a single player game. And I'm hoping that means the story's a little better because they did design it that way from like the ground up. But I was really surprised like just now, but it is gorgeous. I like a lot of the character models. I've never played a Tales game with the Japanese audio, even though the voice acting in Tales games is not always the best. So I might play with the Japanese voices on. The problem is during battle when there's no subtitles, you can't understand what they're saying. Like so, but I like the character models. There's this one girl who is like she's this like paladin woman who fights with a mace and an enormous great shield, and like it's freaking like she's awesome. Like she's the character I made my party leader in the demo because she just looks so freaking cool. Will
it be releasing on PC or no?
Let me look.
Because I'll be getting it if it does. I don't have a PS5.
It's PS4. You don't have a PS4?
No, I had one.
Oh, you had one? Gotcha.
I saw you mine.
It is. Hold on. It is. Hold on. It is. What systems? PC, PlayStation 5, really? Xbox, and
nice because I know other Tales games are on Steam, so I might actually pick that up.
PC. I'm gonna send you. I want to send you a picture of the shield girl because she looks freaking awesome. Like I've never seen a Tales
Paladins are awesome,
character like this. I agree with you. Hold on. Yeah, the Paladins are freaking awesome. I'm sending it to y'all in the private chat. There you go. Click on that. It just looks cool.
As we get more and more into online gaming, and as COVID continues to drag on, I'm really hoping that developers start developing more cross.
He closed his stream rather than just going to another. I think he may have closed the window, which closed this.
That's all right. He still got the link. He can.
What an idiot!
What I was saying.
Did you close the window?
I hit the back arrow to leave the link you sent, and it took me out of the whole thing.
You fool!
Bug.
But doesn't she look cool?
She looks awesome.
That's who I'm definitely gonna have her in my party because
I hope that these games and more games become more cross-platform and their online multiplayer. That's one thing that I've really liked seeing in some of these last like with Warzone and some other online shooters that have really started developing this. And if online shooters can do it, honestly, then anyone should be able to
do. The problem is that Sony, I don't know why Sony can't like pull its head out of its butt because Sony makes so many terrible like anti-gamer decisions.
Well, this is the trend though. Like look at what Microsoft did at the beginning of the last gen with the Xbox One and all the DRM announcements and stuff that they were doing. Yeah, like this is the trend that happens. A video game company gets on top, they start trying to assert their dominance, then the other platform comes in behind them and says, "We're open for everybody," and then everyone goes back to that platform.
It's just dumb because freaking Xbox and PC. I mean, they do a lot of crossplay, and it's just Sony that's like, no.
Yeah. No. But
what's really funny too about the crossplay is like I don't know why you would focus crossplay on first-person shooters because you are so much so at an advantage when you're on PC over like because I did crossplay. I tried crossplay with Overwatch. Like when they're playing with a controller. Like, you feel bad. Like it's so sad, and like that's fine, but it's just that doesn't work.
But like it's like with these Tales games, like if Alan refuses to play video games on the superior console, the PC. And I won't lower myself to those standards because I actually have standards. It would still be nice of us to be able to play games together and stuff like that. We were talking about before the show about Assassin's Creed Unity and how Alan, we talked about it on the show. I was going to help Alan get his co-op trophies. And then I was like, wait a minute, I have the game on PC. He has the game on PS4. Like there's no way this will work.
Assassin's Creed Unity is the only Assassin's Creed that has required co-op freaking trophies.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
So I really think that this is going to be a big testament, and we'll see more and more of this as we move forward as games continue to become more open. I really hope that we can see it.
Yeah, I've never understood why the Tales games specifically don't have online multiplayer. Like if you're playing with your friends, they should be able to control their character on battle even when they're not at your house. Because the Tales games I had to play alone, I could have played if I would have been able to play with people who didn't live here.
I'm not a video game developer, but I would assume that a lot of that has to go into development costs.
I'm sure,
because when you have a someone, so let's Alan, I'm playing with you in Tales, and then Macon hops in. But if your host, like, this isn't like the old 360 days where it's like, okay, Alan's PS5 will now be hosting the session. Like, it's all going to be online servers.
Yeah,
you need servers and software and like hosting fees.
Sense.
Like, there's a whole sort of stuff that happens when you have to get an online market, and it's just the way of the world. And so I think that for a lot of developers, it's like, especially for someone like Tales, who, I mean, their market necessarily isn't going to be. Maybe it's not as big. I don't know what it's not going to sell Call of Duty numbers, but like,
no,
they might not be able to justify those costs.
It's super jarring for me. Like when I start up Dark Souls 3, it has the Bandai Namco thing, and then I start up Tales, and it has the Bandai Namco. Like Tales is a Namco franchise. Like the original one was Namco, before they merged. So it's just really jarring that both Tales and Dark Souls 3, which are completely dissimilar games, are all freaking Bandai Namco.
Yeah.
So you don't want a crossover?
Oh my gosh! Like,
can you imagine
a Tales game that's as hard as freaking Dark Souls?
Just imagine a boss from Dark Souls in a Tales game.
Well, does it weird you out the same way with Square and Enix?
I mean, only because only since they started making freaking MCU games and stopped making, I don't know, JRPGs, which is the only thing anybody cares about from now.
They still make JRPGs.
Barely. Like, they don't make good ones.
Octopath Traveler? A lot of people consider. I haven't beaten it, but a lot of people consider that a very great JRPG.
Yeah, but it's for a handheld.
It does no. See, that's the magic of the Switch, Alan. You can plug it into your TV.
I thought Octopath was originally for the DS. Am I wrong? Is that not right?
No, that was
Bravely Default.
Bravely Default. That was a 3DS game.
Gotcha.
Also didn't care for that one.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, here's the problem. Square, their bread and butter. Square's bread and butter is Final Fantasy.
Lara Croft.
They hadn't made a good one since 12. I guess 14 is taken off now. And then Enix,
10 years.
Enix's claim to fame, like the first Enix games I played, freaking Star Ocean. They certainly haven't made a good last 2 entries in that freaking. I always finish RPGs. Star Ocean 5 was so bad, I didn't even finish it. I'm like, this game is terrible. It is terrible. I did like 2/3, and I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I can't play this game anymore.
I'm probably gonna get railed for this, but is Star Ocean different than Phantasy Star?
Yeah, Phantasy Star. Phantasy Star's been dead for forever.
They just brought it back.
Phantasy Star Online. That's stupid.
They just released it on the Xbox One like last year.
Phantasy Star Online.
Yes.
Fantasy Star Online's dumb. I'm talking about like mainline RPG Phantasy Star games, not Phantasy Star Online. Phantasy Star Online, I hate. That's Sega. Sega makes Phantasy Star. I never played PSO. I like the mainline titles, but the last Phantasy Star mainline title was on the Genesis, Phantasy Star 4.
The last time I played it, they didn't have like a port for America, so you had to create like a Japanese account through their website.
I've heard of people doing that.
Yeah, I was one of those people.
Did you play the?
No, it was for the PC. Like this was like 10 years ago, but they didn't have it in America, so you had to like come up with a way to like proxy your IP and like create an account so you could play. But when you get in the game, nobody knew how to translate anything because it was all in Japanese, so you just kind of had to guess around. It was fun for like the first 3 months, but
it was originally on the Dreamcast. The first one was, I think.
That's funny. Isn't the newest Final Fantasy the one about the Chaos guy? Is that Final Fantasy?
There's Final Fantasy. Oh no, that
is a different game. It's not the newest mainline one, but it is a Final Fantasy game. I forgot about. I have to destroy chaos.
Oh, we had a whole bit when we talked about E3 about that video game. I forgot that was a Final Fantasy game. I wanted to say it was like a Devil May Cry game.
No, it's Dark Souls meets Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 15 was the last main line, and they're actively working on 16. But like 16's like no one knows when that game is coming out.
Because they're literally the director has said, first of all, they kept Kingdom Hearts guy far away from this one. So we're not going to have some stupid plot that makes no freaking sense. There's not going to be any leather jackets with zippers.
So it's not going to be good.
What do you mean it's not going to be good? It's going to be good because that guy's not touching it. That guy ruins everything he touches. He destroys. So, but he's like, the director's like, I don't want to release trickles of information. I want to release a lot of info at one time. So they're waiting until they have a bunch of 16 info before they release anything.
Do they have a separate team working on Final Fantasy VII Part 2?
Yes.
Who cares? That's where Kingdom Hearts guy is. That's what he's working on.
Is he?
Yes, he worked on the first one. That's why it's terrible.
I don't think your opinion is very widely held, Alan.
Guess what? The Final Fantasy fanboys, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a hot take right here. That game's not as good as you think it is. Not the first one and not the remake.
Well,
Video Game Junkie had a good video on it.
I mean, of the old Final Fantasy games, the only one I've played any bit of is 3, and like I don't know if I would trust them to remake that.
Like 3, like actual, like Japanese 3 or American 3?
Whatever is on the SNES, which is I have a copy of 3 for the SNES Classic.
Okay, so that's Final Fantasy 6 then.
No, it's Final Fantasy 3.
Oh, so it's Japanese 3. Okay. Because originally,
Final Fantasy it's Japanese 3. They released Japanese 3 in the US, didn't they?
Eventually, like
that's what I've played then.
Gotcha.
And I guess they did remake it with 6. I don't know. Was 6 as good as Japanese 3?
6 is the best one. 6 is the
really
best one. Yeah, by far.
It's the best version of that game.
Final Fantasy 6 is the Final Fantasy, like the Super Nintendo one that I played. They have not yet had a remaster that's any good. The Super Nintendo one, maybe the one on the SNES Classic, if it's there.
The SNES Classic is just the Japanese release of 3.
Well, Final Fantasy 6 is my favorite of the Final Fantasies. I just think the storyline and it's fun to play.
Well, it's the same, but it's the same story as 3. I guess my question is if they did a better job with the production in 6 than they did in the production of 3.
I'm very confused. Are we talking about the same game?
Final Fantasy 6 and Final Fantasy 3 are the same game, aren't they?
Yes, but not in America. I mean, yes. Final Fantasy 6 originally was released as Final Fantasy 3, but there's also an actual Final Fantasy 3. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Let me look it up. It's whatever I'm playing is the one that's on the SNES Classic.
Is there a character named Terra?
Yes.
Yes, that's Final Fantasy 6. Okay, good. We're talking about the same one. All right. Yes, that game's the best one. That's the best one.
Okay.
Haven't played a single Final Fantasy.
I know.
I played like all the other offshoot.
They're really good.
Earthbound and
I played a lot.
You're a Nintendo fanboy. The problem with Macon is Macon is absolutely a Nintendo fanboy.
I am.
So he is all about Paper Mario, Mario and Luigi Superstar.
I love that.
Which Michael really liked. He was talking about that one of these times. Yeah, Earthbound. Freaking Earthbound.
Earthbound's fantastic. Fantastic soundtrack. My ringtone is actually the town of On It. The first time. Yeah, it's fantastic.
How does it go?
Boop, 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 boo. Boop, 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 boop. It's really catchy. See, I know I made it sound catchy.
Do you ever have anyone like your phone goes off in public and they're like, nice?
No, nobody knows what the game is. Not a single person. Just me. I'm the only one that says nice. And then I see it's my boss. I'm like, not nice.
Yeah, mine goes off and it goes, Commander, you received a new message at your private terminal, which is from Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect, yeah.
No one knows that either. So
you changed it from the Persona 5 sound to boo boo boo.
It was that
for like 20 years.
Noise, Andrew, was the Persona 5 for like I changed it to that when Persona 5 came out, and it was still that when Persona Royal came out. So like that's 5 years in between. It was still
boom.
That's why Christina hated it so much.
She definitely is over that. So there is any other video game news you guys want to talk about? We're not going to talk about the big video game news because we try to keep this in an hour, and there's definitely no way we can talk about it in 7 minutes. So maybe in the next episode, if Michael is back or whatever, we can talk about why Blizzard and Ubisoft can't get their crap together. But we're not going to talk about that now because we've about 6-ish minutes.
That's a big can of worms.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But anyway. That's why when you guys are talking about Overwatch 2, I'm like, maybe. I mean, maybe.
Question mark? Yeah.
Maybe. What other video game? Andrew, this is for you. You were talking about you were excited about Halo Infinite. Have you played it?
I have not played Infinite yet.
Infinite. I saw a story today on Kotaku that says that first of all, Halo has bots. Is this the first time Halo's had bots?
Like in the online multiplayer?
Yeah, multiplayer has bots. It said not only they have bots, but the bots play like human players. They designed the AI of the bots after human players.
Yeah. They've got AI sophisticated enough to do that. They did that with StarCraft 2 with the smart AI there.
Am I going to be playing against IBM's Watson?
I mean, no. You're going to be. You're going to be playing against, like PC master races. You're going to be playing against people who
if they've installed machine learning in Halo, I don't think that's what we need to be teaching our future AI overlords. Is online. It's like, what was the robot that they hooked up to Reddit like several years back? And it was basically like it went downhill fast.
Immediately went down. I think it was 4chan, wasn't it? No, maybe it was Reddit.
It wasn't I think it was Reddit. But like they they hooked it up to Reddit to like learn, and like everyone basically found out and just taught it.
It learned.
It did.
It learned real quick.
We had to put it down before it killed us.
I like the joke about Ultron where it's like, Ultron, the reason why Ultron wanted to kill the world because he was on the internet for like 10 minutes and he figured it out. It's like,
My problem with these freaking human AIs, like, I like playing against bots because I can beat bots. Like, I can win against bots.
But if that's probably how you play Smash too, isn't it?
With bots, 100%.
Level 1 CPU.
Not level 1. Like, I'm better than level 1. No. That we play with like level 5, maybe 6 bots.
Oh, that's adorable.
None of that level 9 nonsense. That's too hard.
Oh, that's what me and my brothers do. We just we just the 4 of us, and I throw in like another level 9 or something like that, and we just go.
No.
To be fair, sometimes they'll clap you. I don't know what it is, but they'll like just unlock and they'll just beat you around a little bit. Like, okay, I see you.
Yeah, like I like bots because I can beat bots. If they're gonna like,
you like bots because they're consistent. Like eventually you can exploit a bot. You can't do that with a person. Well, you can with a person, but they're people are different.
You can, like, for example, here's how you're gonna exploit me. If you snipe me, if I get sniped, I do not care how many times I die. I am going to find you and I am going to bum rush your sniping nest. I don't care if you shoot me. I don't care if I lose 20 lives and I don't kill anybody else. I will, before this match is over, I will root you and your cowardly self from your sniper nest. And
that sniper is going to be happy. That sniper is going to hear double kill. Triple.
That's fine.
Killing spree.
As soon as I spawn, I will charge. I will literally be like, the freaking, I don't know.
You're going to be the tank from Saving Private Ryan against that church tower,
taking inches of the battlefield with every life.
You're just going to like grab a rocket launcher and then point it at the church tower, and the guy's like, "Well, it's over. This is a good run."
That's fine. I hate. Like, I don't mind being killed. I don't mind being shot. I'm not good, but when I am shot and I do not know where it's from, more than one time, like you get one. You're not gonna get one. If you do it again.
Oh, we need to play Halo, Alan.
Yeah, we do.
I was decent at Halo. I was way better at Halo than I was at COD. Way better. I was really good at Halo 1 because I really liked the pistol. And
pistol was OP in that game.
Every subsequent game, pistol blows.
No, you could snipe in Reach. They brought it back in Reach.
Oh, did they?
That was an action. They even when that game was coming out, it was like the Halo 1 pistol is back, and
nice.
they did a whole
you know what
thing
sucks? The plasma pistol.
Yeah. Well, no, the plasma pistol is really good because you get an overcharge shot. You take down their overshield and just a one hit melee, and they're down.
I hate it.
Yeah, it goes whoosh.
It's like it's an.
Or you pull out the pistol and you could shoot him in the head one shot.
We had when we played Halo 1, when we played on Blood Gulch, we had rules. Like we had like rules of engagement. We'd always play capture the flag.
You would have rules of engagement.
Well, the rules of engagement are if someone gets into a warthog and challenges someone else and they get into a warthog, What happens is known as rip snorting. And when people were rip snorting,
is that a drug thing?
The rules of engagement was because the purpose of rip snorting is to you're both in the warthog and you charge each other and you try to flip the other person. You could not, as an observer, shoot one of the warthogs. That's cool. That was not allowed. So you could try to. Now it was fine. You could try to run people over. If you ran someone over, you'd be like rip snorting, but you could not. You could not shoot. If you were on the ground, we had rules for you could not blow up the warthog. You had to get in the warthog to try to force them out of it. Then you could kill them. Engagement. It was really fun because you weren't allowed to shoot. Someone got in a warthog and they just go on you're dashing for the other one because they're just like trying to run you over because we're like don't shoot the warthogs.
We did something like that in Warzone. A couple months ago they had I think it was called like War Trucks mode. Or it was basically like you had 4 people and you had a truck and you just drove around. So we would put C4 on the front and just run into other people.
Yeah.
Nice. You do that in Overwatch. If 2 Mercies use their ults at the same time, you have to have a Mercy battle. And Mercy's a healer. She has a little pistol, rinky-dink pistol.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we have a group of 6 sometimes that'll play. And we would tell the other team, like, Mercy battle. And then we would all stop and watch 2 Mercies try and kill each other in the air. And it's the longest fight in the world because they heal over time. No one's accurate. They move too fast. Eventually, they both die. But, yeah. And then Torb hammer fights as well. Torb's a little dude with a hammer. He's like the engineer.
Yep.
And Torb fights were also a big thing. So before his ult changed.
Well, Tor and turns target each other.
That's a good question. I don't know.
I
don't think so. I think they I don't know if they do that. I think so. They might. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, we're at an hour. This was a lot of fun. It went super fast.
I'm really glad that we could do this again. I'm hoping we can. Now that I have a place where I don't have to go to Michael's house.
Yeah.
To actually do this, we can do this more regularly. I'm
well, I told Michael I would try to keep it running until he was ready to come back, and we can just bring in Macon if we're ever down somebody because. As proven, he also plays games, and he plays more games that y'all play than I do. You're all freaking PC Master Race, all of you. PC Master Race Switch users, all of you.
That's a very rare breed. Well, because the thing is like you use the Switch for the fun games for a console, and then use the PC for games where you want FPS.
Or I use the PS5 for all the games.
And then you can't play with anybody.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. I don't actually enjoy I don't
enjoy it.
I don't really play a ton of multiplayer games. I don't. One of the most fun co-op games that we played, not co-op, but multiplayer game was, I think we talked about it before, Towerfall Ascension, or as we call it, Arrows.
I am a samurai gun over Towerfall guy.
Oh, really? I've never played.
I don't know if you've ever played Samurai Gun. It's basically it's similar to Towerfall, except you just have swords and pistols.
That sounds fun.
Nice.
I really like Samurai. I'm really much more into. A lot of people prefer Towerfall because it's got a lot more verticality.
Yeah.
But I really like Samurai. I like the premise.
Have y'all played Ultimate Chicken Horse?
No, I want to play that.
One of my students told me to play Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Fantastic game, Alan. You would think the game is awesome. It's such a good party game. I think there might even be crossplay. I don't know if there is or not, but it's a fantastic party game. Yeah,
we need to look into that because if there's crossplay, we should definitely play some freaking.
It's so fun. I've never laughed at a party game more.
Yeah, they told me that I should play it, and I thought they were making fun of me. Like, if you played Ultimate Chicken Horse, I'm like, what is that? I'm like, it's not real. It is.
No, watch it. It's fun. You build a platformer together, and then you sabotage it, and it's fun.
It wasn't one of my students. It was one of my nephews. My nephews were and my nephews make a crap. One of them, the middle one, was like, I'm the emperor of the hamburger planet. He makes crap up like that all the time. So he's like, have you played Ultimate Chicken Horse?
Sounds like the same thing.
I haven't played your made up game because they ask that stuff all the time. Are you is this questions that are dumb, like children do. And so it's like, if you played Ultimate Chicken Horse, I'm like, quit pulling my leg, stop. And my brother was like, no, really, it's a real game. But anyway, thank you for joining us. Thank you for filling in. Andrew, as always, this was super fun getting to do this again. Guys, as always, this is Press X to Revolution, where random people, normal people, talk about video games, because we enjoy them, and we don't really have. There's no ulterior motive.
We don't get paid for this. Like this is literally just us wanting to do this.
Absolutely.
Sponsored by Nintendo.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, why not? So anyway, guys, we will be back. We will be back at some point with another episode. Hopefully, we'll get to a more regular schedule once life settles down for pretty much everybody. Thank you guys for watching. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe and hit that bell notification. I don't even say that on my own channel, but I figure I'll say it here. Anyway, see you guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Later, guys.
Good night.